Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a fascinating and honestly almost totally invisible heist taking place right now inside the servers that run our digital world. We're going to look at how a truly brilliant, highly effective cloud optimization trick accidentally created a microscopic backdoor for hackers. It's wild. It's a story of how just trying to save space in a computer's memory can inadvertently broadcast your most private data straight across the internet.
Okay, let's just quickly look at our roadmap for today. We'll start by covering the memory-saving trap, then we'll get into timing the copy on write, attacking without local access, real-world remote data leaks, local versus remote speeds, and finally securing the cloud servers. Let's dive right in.
Section 1. The Memory-Saving Trap. Inside the Vault. So picture this. Imagine a massive library that's completely running out of shelf space. Now, instead of keeping 1,000 identical copies of, say, the latest bestseller, the clever librarian keeps just one master copy. Then they hand out magical shared copies to everyone who asks for it. Well, in computing, this librarian's trick is called memory duplication, or transparent page sharing. It's a completely ingenious optimization heavily used in cloud servers, Windows, and Linux to merge identical blocks of memory. Imagine the core files of an operating system being shared by dozens of virtual machines at once. Doing this drastically reduces the memory footprint, which massively increases cost-effectiveness for cloud providers. It's a win-win, right?
Well, let's look at exactly how that process works under the hood. First, the operating system is constantly scanning the physical memory. When it finds identical pages of data, it merges them into a single page and marks it as read-only. Then, the duplicate pages are freed up. This saves a massive amount of RAM, freeing up vital resources so the server can run even more virtual machines. It is highly efficient.
Section 2. Timing the copy on write. The telltale pause.
So you might be wondering, how exactly does saving memory end up leaking data? Let's go back to our library analogy for a second. What happens when someone tries to write notes in the margins of their magical shared book? Because the physical book is shared with everyone else, the librarian has to jump in, stop them, make a real photocopy of that specific page, give it to them, and then let them write on that. In computing, this forced wait time is the key to the whole heist. If an attacker can measure that tiny microscopic pause, they instantly know the data they were just interacting with was a shared copy. And when we map out write access times in native code on Linux KVM, it brilliantly illustrates this concept in action. What we are looking at is a copy on write, or cow page fault, literally the digital equivalent of our librarian scrambling to make that photocopy. Notice the massive microsecond delay spike. That huge jump shows the system pausing to create a private copy of the shared page, and it's this exact delay that acts as a highly detectable side channel. The absolutely crucial point here is that this telltale pause allows an attacker to play a high-tech game of guess who. They craft a piece of data, put it in memory, and wait. Later, they try to write over it. If that write is blazing fast, their data was unique. But if there is a slow microsecond delay, it means the system had merged their data with someone else's. That slow write confirms to the attacker that they guessed the target data correctly.
Section 3. Attacking without local access. The remote heist. Now, for years, researchers actually knew about this timing flaw. But older attacks required malicious code running directly on the local machine. Here is the terrifying twist with modern remote attacks. They require absolutely zero local code execution. None. An attacker doesn't need a foothold on your server. They don't need a virus. They don't need a script. They simply interact with standard web APIs or in-memory caches. They literally just send regular HTTP/1 or HTTP/2 network requests and measure the exact time it takes for the server to reply.
Okay, so let's walk through exactly how this remote heist works, step by step. First, the attacker uploads a data blob to a server. Second, they just wait for the server's OS to merge it. Third, they send another network request to modify that blob. And finally, they time the response. Literally just by throwing standard network packets at the server and listening for the timing echo, they can start stealing data.
Section 4. Real-world remote data leaks. Targeting databases.
Let's ground this theory in reality for a second. What are attackers actually doing with this? Well, they can use this timing data to perfectly map out a system's defenses. They can identify exact software versions like the core libc library in minutes, which lets them perfectly tailor their future exploits. They can completely defeat KSLSR, which is a major security feature designed to hide the operating system kernel's location, and they can do this over a 14-hop internet connection. And honestly, worst of all, they can extract exact database records. Take MariaDB, for example.
Researchers found that by uploading specifically crafted record sizes, attackers can actually force MariaDB's InnoDB storage engine to reorganize its data. This misalignment shifts unknown private database bytes right into memory pages controlled by the attacker. So, by using that deduplication timing trick we just talked about, they can guess and reveal these private records literally byte by byte right over the network.
Section 5. Local versus remote speeds. A stark contrast. Now, you might be wondering how this stealthy internet attack actually stacks up against older local methods. It's a pretty stark contrast. Local attacks are blisteringly fast, leaking data in microseconds, but they require code execution that your security software is probably going to detect. The remote attack, on the other hand, perfectly blends in as standard HTTP web traffic. It's infinitely stealthier. It is admittedly slower because it has to cut through network noise, but it's practically invisible.
Let's actually talk about that slower speed. Researchers recorded a remote data leakage speed of 34.41 bytes per hour over a real-world 14-hop internet connection. Now, I know what you're thinking. 34 bytes an hour? That doesn't sound like a lot of data at first glance.
But make no mistake, in the world of cryptography, even a slow leak is catastrophic. A leakage rate of 34.41 bytes per hour is entirely sufficient to steal a server's complete master cryptographic key over a single weekend. Just a tiny, steady trickle of bytes hiding inside standard web traffic is quite literally all an attacker needs to break a system wide open.
Section 6. Securing the cloud servers. Locking the vault.
So, how do cloud administrators actually lock down this vault and defend against these invisible remote heists? Well, previously, vendors realized cross-virtual machine sharing was a bad idea, so they restricted deduplication to happen only within a single security domain, like inside a single Windows system or a single container. But because web servers inherently expose their timing latencies to the outside world whenever they reply to HTTP requests, this intra-domain deduplication remains a massive, massive vulnerability.
The actionable takeaway here for administrators is super strict. You must disable these features if you process sensitive data. There's no way around it. In VMware environments, that means setting mem.sharescanghz to 0 to totally disable transparent page sharing. On Linux, it means turning off kernel same-page merging, or KSM. You also need to implement really strict network packet inspection. Ultimately, administrators have to weigh the massive cost-saving benefits of memory overcommitment against this very severe security reality.
Which brings us to a final, kinda provocative thought. We just saw how a feature designed purely to optimize RAM ended up creating a microscopic timing backdoor that works all the way across the internet. So if optimizing performance can accidentally create vulnerabilities like this, what other smart cloud optimizations are silently leaking your data right now? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope it gave you a new perspective on the invisible physics of the cloud.